The Celestial Harmony space station orbited the neutral zone between three galactic powers, a gleaming monument to diplomatic cooperation. Within its crystalline corridors, representatives from dozens of species conducted business, forged alliances, and maintained the delicate peace that had held for nearly 2 centuries. But peace, Elsa had learned, meant different things to different species. Elsa moved through the servants' passage with practiced efficiency, her azure skin shimmering under the harsh overhead lights. The Kvari were a proud species, their civilization ancient when humanity was still learning to make fire. Yet here she was, one of hundreds of Kvari working as service staff aboard the station, their once mighty empire reduced to providing labor for wealthier worlds. Her leg throbbed with each step, the injury from yesterday's fall growing worse instead of better. She had reported it to her supervisor, a Hectarian named Gruel, who had simply logged her complaint and told her to continue working. That was how it worked in the station's lower levels. Servants, especially those from economically devastated worlds, were expendable. Verk noticed her on his 3rd day aboard the station. The young human engineer had been assigned to check the environmental systems in the diplomatic quarter, a routine maintenance task that bored him to tears. Humanity was still the newcomer to galactic society, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 50 years prior. They were watched carefully by elder species, judged on every action, every word. His supervisor had been clear: keep your head down, do your job, don't make waves. But Verk had never been good at following rules that felt wrong. He first saw Elsa as she emerged from a service entrance, carrying a tray of drinks meant for some delegation on the upper floors. She was limping badly, her face contorted in pain with each step. The tray trembled in her hands, the glasses threatening to spill. Other station personnel walked past her without a glance, as though wounded servants were simply part of the decor. Something hot and angry ignited in Verk's chest. He watched her disappear into an elevator, then pulled up the station's personnel database on his work tablet. Finding her wasn't difficult. Elsa of Kvar 7, assigned to hospitality services, no medical leaves taken in 8 months of service. He dug deeper, using access codes he probably shouldn't have, and found her medical report from the previous day. Torn ligament in her right leg, recommended treatment, 2 weeks of regenerative therapy. Status denied due to insufficient medical credit balance. The station operated on a credit system. Servants earned minimal wages, most of which went to their housing and meals. Medical treatment beyond basic first aid required credits they simply didn't have. The system was legal, technically. It was also barbaric. Verk made a decision that would change everything. Over the next 2 hours, he tracked Elsa's movements through the station. He learned her routes, her schedule, the impossible workload she carried despite her injury. He watched her bite back tears as she climbed stairs, watched her steady herself against walls when she thought no one was looking. And he watched the other species, Hectarians, Zelnari, even some humans, walk past her suffering with practiced indifference. When her shift ended, Verk was waiting outside the servants' quarters. "Excuse me," he said in Standard Galactic, the common tongue of the station. "Elsa, right?" She turned, her large eyes widening in surprise. Servants were rarely addressed by name by station personnel, and almost never by engineers. "Yes, sir. How may I help you?" "I'm Verk. I'm an engineer here." He held up his tablet, showing her medical file. "I saw you were hurt. I want to help." Elsa's expression shifted from surprise to suspicion. "I appreciate your concern, but I've already filed my medical request." It was processed according to station policy. "Station policy is garbage," Verk said flatly. "You have a torn ligament. You should be in medical right now, not working 12-hour shifts. So here's what's going to happen. I'm taking you to the human medical bay, and our doctors are going to fix your leg." I can't afford." "I'm not asking you to pay." Verk's voice softened. "Look, I know you don't know me, and I know humans don't have the best reputation yet. But where I come from, we have this old saying, we're only as strong as how we treat the weakest among us. Right now, this station is failing you. I'm not okay with that." Elsa stared at him, her alien features unreadable. Finally, she said, "Why would you do this for a stranger? A servant?" "Because it's right," Verk said simply. "And because if we want to be part of this galactic community, we need to show that humanity stands for something better than credits and policies." The walk to the human medical bay took 15 minutes. News of what Verk was doing spread through the station's communication networks like wildfire. By the time they arrived, a small crowd had gathered. Other humans, certainly, but also Kvari servants, Selnari workers, even a few junior diplomats who had heard rumors of what was happening. Dr. Sarah Chen, the chief medical officer, was waiting at the entrance. She took one look at Elsa's leg and her expression hardened. "Get her inside, now." As Elsa was led away, Verk found himself facing his supervisor, a stern woman named Commander Williams. "Do you have any idea what you've just done?" she demanded. "You've violated at least 6 station protocols. The Hectarian delegation is already filing complaints. You've created a diplomatic incident." "Good," Verk said, his jaw set. "Maybe we need an incident. Maybe it's time someone looked at how this station really operates. This isn't how we do things. Then how we do things needs to change." Commander Williams studied him for a long moment, then sighed. "The ambassador wants to see you. You're probably going to be sent home in disgrace." But Verk never made it to the ambassador's office. Instead, something unexpected happened. The Kvari servants began to gather outside the human medical bay. Then workers from other species joined them. Maintenance crews, junior staff, the invisible backbone of the station. They stood in silent solidarity, waiting for news of Elsa's treatment. Social media channels across the station lit up with debates about medical ethics, labor rights, and the moral obligations of an interstellar community. When Dr. Chen emerged 2 hours later with Elsa walking beside her, no longer limping, the crowd erupted in cheers. Elsa found Verk in the crowd, tears streaming down her azure face. "Why?" she asked again, her voice breaking. "Why did you risk everything for me?" Verk smiled. "Because someone once told me that the measure of a civilization isn't its technology or its military might. It's how it treats those who have no power. Humanity is new here, Elsa. We're going to make mistakes. But I want us to make mistakes on the side of compassion, not indifference." The incident sparked reforms across the Celestial Harmony Station. The credit-based medical system was overhauled. Labor conditions improved, and humanity, the newcomers who dared to challenge the established order in defense of the powerless, earned something far more valuable than diplomatic favor. They earned respect. And in the quiet moments when Elsa returned to her quarters on fully healed legs, she looked at the small group photo Verk had given her. Him, Dr. Chen, and her all smiling, and understood that sometimes one act of kindness could change everything. Sometimes humanity wasn't just a species. It was a promise.